What up, guys? Jordan Sather reporting for duty, checking in here with you on Thursday, April 25th, and we got some great stuff to talk about in this one. Q is back with some bombshells we're going to cover. Also going to talk about Trump putting Big Pharma on blast and the Rothschilds auctioning off some of their goods. Very good news. And then some other things we'll discuss as well, like vaccine bills going through state senates. And then we'll also discuss UFOs. I'm seeing that news report going around about the Navy redoing their UFO reporting guidelines. I actually saw the Washington Post put an article out on it today. We're going to talk about their narrative and all of the narrative, the whole agenda behind this recent rash of UFO reporting in the mainstream media. So good stuff on deck in this one. Shout out to a sponsor of this channel in Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold is a fantastic American-based business that helps you invest your money in precious metals like gold, silver, and even palladium. But frankly, I think the coolest thing they have are these commemorative collectible coins. They got rare coins you can get in gold and silver. These are ancient, back from like the 1800s. And they also have this awesome commemorative collectible Donald Trump coin that you can also grab. These are awesome little commemorative coins. If you want to check out the links to those, they'll be in the description down below. Now let's move on into talking about Q's drop. So we're going to start with this one right here, 3317 from yesterday evening. And Q is directing us towards Joe DiGenova's appearance on Fox News yesterday, saying, listen carefully to the statements made by Joe D. And this is his appearance on Fox News. I'm going to read you a couple quotes from his appearance here to point out some particular things. He said, it was evident from day one that there was a plot to exonerate Hillary Clinton illegally, and if she lost the election, to frame Donald Trump. The dossier was knowingly a part of that, created by Hillary Clinton, John Brennan, etc., etc. He specifically said knowingly and illegally, okay? Very important word choice. He would not be using those words unless it was basically cleared for him to do so, okay? And he continued to say the FISA court already communicated with the Justice Department about its findings. And its findings were that for more than 4 years before the election of Donald Trump, there was an illegal spying operation going on by FBI contractors, 4 of them, he pointed out, to steal personal information about Americans and use it against the Republican Party. All right, so a few things here. Like I said, knowingly and illegally, him using those words. He also pointed out that there were 4 contractors. We'll get to that point in talking about a few more of Q's drops in a second here. But what stood out to me is that Joe DiGenova pointed out that for more than 4 years, this was going on. So that is all the way back in 2012, even maybe before that, that this illegal spying began, using FBI contractors to gather dirt on people and use that against the Republican Party. So basically, it doesn't matter who the heck the Republican nominee was going to be in the 2016 presidential election. They were going to spy on that person and fix the whole thing for Hillary Clinton. Boom. Disgusting stuff right here, folks. You think our elections were safe? Well, luckily 2016's were because of Patriots, but whoa, big stuff right there. Let's go back to Q's drops here. Next one, Q posting a photograph of the Punisher. Pain coming to those swamp folks in D.C. Next drop, 3319. Q then giving us the name Michael S. Rogers. That is Admiral Mike Rogers, former director of the NSA. I would imagine Q linking his name now because he could be instrumental with that FISA court trying to get to the bottom of these illegal operations. I'm very interested to see what sort of part Admiral Mike Rogers may have in the upcoming prosecutions of this cabal. If he's going to testify, what might he testify about? Very interested to see how he's going to play a part in all this. Next drop here, 3320. Q links a tweet and says, you attack those you fear the most. Nothing can stop what is coming. Let's take a look at that tweet. And it comes from Sun Q Zoo. Shout out to them. They got linked by Q a few months ago. Linked here again. And this tweet says, I knew the fake news would attempt to connect the militia leader who was arrested on the border with QAnon. Of course, mainstream media trying to attack Q in any way they can. So even if they find one tiny loose connection, they're going to jump on that. And sure enough, they do. And they do it indirectly via the group he is a part of. the United Constitutionalist Patriots, and the charge, the simple fact that that group he's a part of discusses Q. Ha! That tiny little loose connection. Just because they discuss Q on one of their shows or one of their programs, boom! Mainstream media jumps on it, tries to paint QAnon as violent, the followers crazy, etc., etc. But the only reason the mainstream media is doing that is because they are scared shitless. Nothing can stop what is coming, though. Next drop here, 3321. And Anon points out that about a year and a half ago, this was all the way in January of 2018, long time ago by Q standards, Q saying, this is why we are here. Good find, Anons. 4 contractors. Joe D stated that tonight on Fox News. So in this drop from January 2018, a year and a half ago, Q posted +4 outside contractors, giving us some hints back then as to revelations we're seeing right now, future proving past, in effect right here. So massive Q proof. They absolutely have some inside knowledge. I don't know why people think they don't, either because they're dumb or they're paid to lie, one of those cases. But another Q proof, another future proving past out of many we have right there. And then this next drop, 3322, Q pointing out a tweet where somebody noticed that Q proof. These are the kinds of Q proofs that are almost eerie. This individual, Rosie's Ridiculous Bullshit, the name of this Twitter account, picking up that +4 outside contractors quote and that link to Q. Q then saying, stay tuned, meaning there's some bigger Q proofs coming. Boom! Ask the Q. Somebody ask that Q to Donald Trump. I'm awaiting. I'm awaiting. Stay tuned. More Q proofs incoming. And then the last drop we have, 3323, Q linking a tweet from Obama saying, will this age well? Let's take a look at that tweet. Obama, I spy. I've seen this tweet going around in recent months, and with the FISA revelations coming undone, gives a whole new meaning to this tweet. And here's the thing, this tweet was from 2013, the very beginning of it, right there. Now remember, Joe DeGenova pointed out that according to the FISA court working with the Justice Department, this has been going on for more than 4 years. Before the election of Donald Trump, that's all the way back to 2012, this spying might have began. So Barack Obama saying, I spy here, that's almost a little truth in plain sight, right? No, that tweet won't age well at all. Or maybe it will age really well, because that'll become true. Won't age well for Barack Obama, it'll age real well for us. Well, that's all Q's drops we have to cover. Now let's move on into the other stuff. So let's talk about that UFO report. The Washington Post jumping on the bandwagon with this one. How angry pilots got the Navy to stop dismissing UFO sightings. Now, like I have been saying, UFO disclosure, crucial, very important. Secret space program disclosure, the amount of missing money, the free energy, anti-gravity, all the other technologies associated with the UFO issue. Extremely important, but we don't want that disclosure to come half-assed from the CIA. No, we don't. We want full disclosure. We want the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And what we're seeing come out of the mainstream media right now, with this Politico report the other day, with this Washington Post article right here, really all since the New York Times put out that report in December of 2017, and all this BS connected to the To the Stars initiative, it's all a partial hangout disclosure, guys. Concocted, given to you in a box with a bow on it by the CIA, the rogue intel agencies, and other deep state connected people themselves. Do not trust it. It's the half-truth. You know, you've got Lou Elizondo being featured in this article talking to the Washington Post. Chris Mellon, another guy, used to work in the intelligence agencies. Both of these individuals connected to Tom DeLonge's To the Stars limited hangout. Again, this is John Podesta's secret plan, as you can find him referencing it as such in the WikiLeaks emails. So there you go, guys. I mean, just connect the dots. Look at who's connected to it. Senator Harry Reid, John Podesta, all these CIA guys. You got Rob Bigelow over here. What's Rob Bigelow's connections to the ufology community? What's his angle in all this? So much to be said about this whole agenda, this narrative, this thing that they're packaging up to try to sell to the public, but that's the basic gist of it. It's a partial hangout. They're not even giving you half-truths. It's like 1% of the truth, and they're twisting that context when they give it to you. So be very careful with who you research from, what you research, what you believe. You know, discernment is ever more key as we proceed through these muddy waters, through these times. Now moving on to Donald Trump putting Big Pharma on blast. I absolutely love this. Trump says he doesn't want campaign donations from pharma. What's a great quote of his from one of his speeches? He goes, "I don't want their money. I don't need their money." I love it. I absolutely love it. The fact that this guy got his money the legal way, billions of dollars, and now he's putting that billions of dollars, boom, at risk. You know, how much net worth has this guy lost since his presidential election? That goes to show you that this guy is doing it for us, we the people. His net worth isn't growing since being elected. It's actually getting smaller. Ha! Reconcile that. But anyway, President Donald Trump spurned campaign contributions from the pharmaceutical industry on Wednesday, calling the industry out for its role in the national opioid addiction epidemic. I don't want their money. They have to do what is right. Fantastic quote right there. We are holding Big Pharma accountable, Trump said. Great. Thank you, sir. Now I can't wait. I can't wait until you start putting Big Pharma on blast for everything else. For the mysterious deaths of holistic doctors, for all of the falsified information that Big Pharma and the media and the medical education system gives us. How about the vaccine corruption? Plenty of that to talk about. Can't wait till you get to all of that. I know it's coming. I'm patient. I know it's coming, but I can't wait till you get there. But thank you for holding Big Pharma accountable, sir. Appreciate it. Moving on, let's talk about the Rothschilds selling their goods, having to auction off lavish heirlooms made for kings and queens, family consignment items estimated at near $13 million up for auction. Lots include Marie Antoinette's desk, King Philip's cabinets. I mean, shoot, they're auctioning off a bunch of stuff, so obviously the Rothschilds must be hurting right now. And this is not the first thing that they're selling of theirs. Over the last year, I'm going to go through a few other things that they've sold. About a year and a half ago, this was January 2018, they actually had to sell off a piece of their large estate in Austria. It was a big hunting estate. They sold that off January of 2018. October of 2018, both last year, Rothschild and Company sold one of their trust and their wealth planning businesses. Wow. Rothschilds have been hurting for a little while, actually. You think things aren't happening? Things are absolutely happening, and they're happening worldwide, and this deep state is totally getting dismantled. I mean, look, the Rothschilds used to be one of the richest families in the world, if not the richest family, now is selling a bunch of their stuff, and they've been doing so for a while. Yeah, cabal going down. Now let's talk about big tech. So we went through, the UFO stuff getting exposed. I mean, the deep state's so desperate to distract and hide their crimes that they're pulling out their partial UFO disclosure card now. It's hilarious. The Alliance putting Big Pharma on blast. The Alliance is putting the Rothschilds on blast. I mean, all of them are getting knocked. Now, big tech. So Facebook is having to pay an extremely big fine to the FTC. Right here, Facebook saying yesterday that it expected the FTC to fine it up to $5 billion. $3 to $5 billion is the estimate. So Facebook doing illegal things, as Q said, collapsing under the weight of their own illegal activities. Facebook getting fined billions, and that's just in America. So I Googled Facebook, and when I Googled Facebook, it actually brought up international happenings with the big tech company. So Facebook is being investigated in Ireland over mishandling passwords. It's not only in America, Ireland, and also Canada. And this is all just today. Canada saying Facebook broke privacy laws. So they might be being fined a huge amount in Canada, much like here in America. So, sorry, Facebook. I'm still using you. You're very helpful, Facebook. I can share memes on you, and I can share articles. It really helps to wake people up. But, sooner or later we're going to have to gravitate towards these alternative platforms and get off of Facebook. But hey, sorry, Zuckerberg. Ha! Sucks, bro. Next, let's move on to talking 5G. So Verizon naming more than 20 US cities where customers will get the 5G ultra wideband network this year. And they're also announcing a bunch of sales going on, pre-order for the Samsung Galaxy 5G phone, some sales to try to get people onto this 5G wideband network. Pretty ridiculous. 20 cities. Here's the list right here. I would get out of these cities if I were you. Get out of that 5G nonsense. It's harmful, all right? It is very harmful. And I hope that Donald Trump wants control over 5G so he can shut that shit off, okay? Never a better time to get out of the city and into the country, into the earth. Much more natural, much more beneficial for you, okay? Now let's talk vaccines to finish this up. So that malaria vaccine, I reported on it in my video yesterday. Still seeing that going around the news wires continuously to be reported on. Malaria kills a child every 30 seconds is what The Hill is writing here. Now there's a vaccine to fight it. So there's a lot of propaganda. They're trying to sell this vaccine very, very hard, all right? But here's the thing. We don't need a vaccine to fight malaria. In fact, I highly doubt the vaccine will combat malaria as much as they say. And in fact, how about a very cheap alternative solution to combating malaria in MMS? Wow, MMS. It's very cheap. It's very effective against malaria. You know, it's been said that MMS can kill malaria within hours. And it's very safe if you know how to use it properly. Cheap. Effective. Maybe that's why Big Pharma is going so hard against it. Maybe that's why they're censoring MMS on the internet. Maybe that's why I got my YouTube video censored about MMS, is because it's so cheap and so effective against things like malaria. But because the deep state wants to push their malaria vaccine right now, it looks like they have to censor MMS and attack it. Big media selling their vaccines here that are made by Big Pharma, all while Big Tech censors information about malaria cures like MMS on the internet. It's just ridiculous. And a few more things on vaccines. So some state bills going through. Bad news out of California. A state bill got passed there. Opponents are calling it a crime against humanity because it likely is. But vaccine bill moves forward. This coming from the Los Angeles Times, so you already know they're going to have an awful narrative with it. But it's an awful bill. This bill going through the California state legislature is trying to severely restrict vaccine exemptions, especially medical exemptions, and basically give the state oversight over doctors and physicians about these medical exemptions. So this bill, you know, was introduced by Senator Richard Pan. Excuse my French, but fuck that guy. Needs to be said. Just terrible, terrible stuff. So I know a lot of people actually moving out of California. I've heard a lot of people moving out of California simply because of the vaccine fascism that's going on there. So it's absolutely absurd. But good news out of Texas, at least. So there's a Senate bill going through Texas to penalize doctors who refuse patients who aren't vaccinated. Okay? And this is common occurrence, physicians refusing patients because they don't want any unvaccinated patients in their clinic that are going to lower their numbers. Because if a physician hits a certain percentage, might be a 90 or a 90% vaccination rate in their whole clinic, they get huge kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies for that, okay? So doctors want to keep those kickbacks, so they literally refuse patients who don't want to vaccinate. Well, Texas is looking to make that illegal. And they're trying to get a state bill through there right now to make it illegal for doctors to refuse patients who aren't vaccinated. And I can imagine that the doctors don't want this to happen. And of course, the pharmaceutical companies don't want this to happen. They don't sell as many vaccines. The doctors themselves don't quite get their kickbacks that they want. So this bill, though, is very good. We want that. We don't want doctors to refuse patients just because of the money or just because they are ignorant doctors. It's quite a few ignorant doctors out there, unfortunately. They get brainwashed by the colleges and universities. So hopefully this bill goes through. So we got good news and bad news of vaccine information going on around the country. Some state bills going through that aren't good. Some state bills going through that are good. Lot of propaganda, misinformation being spread on the internet. This article pointed out how, according to the CDC, there have been 626 cases of measles in the U.S. so far this year. I'm seeing a lot of articles going around the mainstream media referencing this statistic, but one last time for you guys, one last time here. I am not seeing this statistic reported on the cdc.gov website, okay? Well, I am. I'm seeing it on this page of theirs. This is a page, measles cases and outbreaks, that they made, measles cases in 2019. It claims to have 626 reported cases this year. Okay, but let's go to this table, and I'll link this table down below. You can click on it, go look at it yourself. The National Notifiable Infectious Diseases Weekly Table. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating this in all the videos I do that mention vaccines. Where are those 626 cases, okay? Cumulative totals of 2019 indigenous measles cases. 160 plus 193 cases of imported. I mean, even if you add the indigenous and the imported measles cases, that's only half of the 626 that the CDC claims. So why does the CDC literally have contradicting statistics on its own websites? Not just that, but Washington measles cases, 2. The CDC's claiming there's been 70 in Washington. I don't get it. I don't freaking get it. If anybody can help me answer this, I would love for that to be answered. I would love a little more clarity on this discrepancy I'm finding on cdc.gov. Okay, so that's all for this one, folks. We went through Q's drops. We went through that UFO phenomenon, the partial disclosure that we're seeing go out right now. Rothschilds selling more of their goods than they have over the last year. Very good news. And then Trump putting Big Pharma on blast, and then some more stuff that we talked about there. Facebook going down the tube. Very good stuff. So I'll be back with more videos soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, for clicking that little notification bell. I hope YouTube is sending you those notifications. I get a lot of messages that they're not, but they better get on that. More videos coming, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.